Hey, welcome to Low Country Spotlight. I'm your host, Margie Pizarro. I just have such a fun time, laughing and talking and giggling before I come on the air. But let me get serious and get together for today's show, which promises to be a fabulous show, as most of our shows are. Our first guest is Toni Gilliard, and she is an immigration lawyer here in the Low Country. But I've been talking to her the last couple of days, and every time I talk to her, she tells me about another gift and talent that she has. So we're not talking about law today or anybody's immigration status. We'll bring her back on to talk about that. But today we're talking about this wonderful children's book that her daughter, Ryan, wrote. It is called Never Alone. We will have all the information on the website. But let's first welcome Toni to Low Country Spotlight. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, we have been talking about this book that your daughter wrote. It's called Never Alone. Tell us a little bit about the backdrop of the book and the story, of course, as you can relate it in your own terms.
Well, it's a faith-based book on divorce and separation from a child's perspective. It's written with her voice in mind. It's something that she came up with at the ripe age of 6.
Wow.
We couldn't find any books when I was going through divorce that focused on diversity as far as characters were concerned. And so she said, well, I would like to help children go through the process of divorce and separation like I'm helping my brother. So I want to write my own book. And so I decided to sow a seed and invest in that. And it's been a blessing to not only children, but also parents. So it's something that she wants to continue doing and dealing with tough topics that are normally considered adult issues.
Right. Now, you're an attorney and your specialization is immigration law. I do family court work all the time. So I see firsthand how divorce affects kids. And a lot of times I see how parents are so ill-equipped to help their children get through the process. So what were the steps that you and your husband took when you all were going through this to prepare them? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, my kids have always been readers, my daughter in particular, and her coping mechanism was through pictures, old photo albums, looking at pictures of family time, as well as writing and journaling. So
at the age of 6?
Yeah, kind of weird. She's
Wow.
very grown up for her age, a big personality. And so I look for books to help her cope, to read and to kind of help her understand that it's not just you, that other kids are experiencing these things. And then looking for books, I couldn't find any books with children of color. And so after a year of using all these different books with animals and other characters who are not of color, she said, well, why don't any of the characters look like me? And I was like, well, they just don't have them. And so we searched Amazon and couldn't find any. And so she said, I want to write one myself, and I want a little brown girl on the cover.
So it was really important for her to be able to relate to the character that she saw in the book, not just from the situation they were going through, but also that, she may live the way I live. She has hair the way I do. She may dress the way I do. Tell us why you think that was so important to her.
I think it was important for her, after talking to her about it without making assumptions, in that not just white children experience divorce. That there are, Hispanic children who go through divorce. There are people from other faiths that go through divorce. And her meeting another kid at school who was Asian, who helped her cope. As you'll see in the book, one of the characters is Asian descent, who explains to her it's okay that my parents went through divorce as well. So in her understanding that, okay, it's not just me, because I talked to this person at school, let me break it down for my brother and help him understand the double blessing of it.
Well, and it's so, I can't even find a word. I'm so taken by the fact that she wanted to be so involved in this experience such that, she would sought out other opportunities and sought out information even from her peers. What do you attribute that to?
Genetics.
Well, her mama is a lawyer.
She has an entrepreneurial spirit. She's always been the one to say, hey, what can I do to make money? When doing chores around the house, are you going to pay me? So with that entrepreneurial spirit being, so young, and I guess because her mom's an entrepreneur, she, she didn't look at it from the financial perspective. It was more of a giving spirit, wanting to bless somebody else. So that's where it came from. So I would say that spirit came from blessing somebody else, and helping people along the way.
Yeah, and this started at the age of 6. I'm so taken by the fact that she was so involved in the whole concept, and obviously that's attributable to you and your husband in terms of maybe trying to walk them through what was going on, what to expect, and things of that nature. You think?
It definitely was, because I'm very open in my household with the dialogue is kid friendly, but it's real.
Yeah.
So that what they learn is in the home versus what they learn from outside the home.
And stop right there, because you could use that same aspect and apply it to so many other things dealing with our children, not just the fact that you all were going through divorce and separation. Like you said, the dialogue, it's kid friendly, but it is real. And at the same time, you wanted them to hear about what to expect at home, not from what you're hearing in the street. And sometimes I think the streets are our children's best teacher, and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
And I think I'm so happy that you all have taken that perspective. Now we talked a little bit about not just Never Alone, the book about separation and divorce. You have other books that are on the horizon as well. Tell us a little bit about some of the other things that Ryan is writing.
Yeah, so this is the first in a series, and the next one will be dealing with children with special needs, for in particular autism or children with learning disabilities. And that one, the main character will twist a little bit, where she's focusing more on her brother and helping understand that he's not dumb. He's not slow. He just learns differently.
Yeah.
So that one we're excited about. We're working on the illustrations now and hope to have it out pretty soon. But that one is, dealing with some tough issues as far as academics and the learning environment in the classroom. And the way the children feel, or the way other children may perceive the child who may be struggling.
Tell me one last question before we go about the need that you see for this type of series of books. Tell us about that.
Primarily is to see diverse characters, that if you're dealing with non-Caucasian characters, that it's not just animals.
Because that's all you were finding.
Because that's what we were finding. Dealing with a diversity of characters, so it's not just the brown, the brown little kid or the brown girl. We deal with Hispanic characters, Asian characters, and other cultures. And secondly, to deal with tough issues that we look at as grown-up issues, and we kind of push to the side to say, oh, children are to be seen and not heard. And I think it's very therapeutic for children to journal at a young age, and to seek counseling and therapy where needed. And I think if we acknowledge that children may be struggling with these things, I think they'll cope a lot better.
And I mean, I have so many tough divorce cases where parents don't, they think, again, children should be seen and not heard, and they don't realize, my kid is struggling just as hard as I am, just in a different way. Oh my gosh, we're out of time already. We have to have you come back and talk about a whole bunch of other stuff.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, we've been talking to Toni Gilliard. Her daughter wrote this book, Ryan Husser wrote this book, and she's also got a son, Jonathan, and Jonathan, and Ryan actually has been helping her brother to cope with the separation and divorce, and it's a wonderful read, and we're going to have all the info on our website. Don't go anywhere. We got more Low Country Spotlight coming right up.